here on behalf of Research Foundation of India for our 8 days faculty development program, which is conducted as international online. I, Dr. Priyanka Devprarathi, welcomes welcome all of you for our faculty development program on the topic Business Analytics and Business Intelligence, which is organized by Research Foundation of India, Deccan Education Society, Chintaman Rao Institute of Management Development and Research, Sangli, sponsored by JHERF, World Virtual Conference Forum, Academic Guide Research Association, EDU Academic INC, International Research Guide Federation. To begin with the program, in this inaugural occasion, I would like to tell you about our organization, Research Foundation of India, which is working at highest potential and strictly working for the social upliftment and higher education quality for Indian researchers. It promotes Indian researchers in the various forms of events like international, national conferences, seminars, workshops, symposiums, and many more other activities. RFI works for the integration of intellectual ideas across the globe to fulfill the thirst of innovation of humanity. Research Foundation of India is concerned with improving the educational process by encouraging scholarly inquiries related to education and practical applications of research results. RFI is also working for research and development for higher education. It has signed MOU with many top universities of India like Symbiosis, AIT, SAGE, SKDU, Apex, Eklavya, B.R. Ambedkar Central University, Atal Bihari Hindu University, Gujarat University, and many more. RFI members are faculty, researchers, guides, graduates, students, and other various field distinguished professionals which are rich in the diverse expertise in educational and researches. RFI does not take any financial sponsors from any government body. Research Foundation of India has organized more than 12,000 plus international conferences and workshops, FDPs, symposiums, and many more all over world. RFI is having 87 chapters in India and 18 chapters in Asia and other countries, and are categorized in 5 broad West, East, South, North, and Central zones. For today, for our topic, inaugural topic on business analytics and business intelligence, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Shresth Chhabra. Welcoming him, I would like to tell you about his profile and his work, which has dedicated to the social for the Society of Education. Dr. Shresth Chhabra holds PhD in labor welfare. He has experience of more than 21 years in undergraduate, postgraduate, PhD course levels, and guide research projects. In his present assignment, he is associated as Associate Professor with Delhi College Business School, Indore, which is an affiliate college of De Montfort University, UK. He has published many national and international research papers and in conferences journals. He is associate as reviewer with Global Journal of Labour, University of Witwatersrand, South Africa, Journal of HRM, Science Publication Group, New York, General Press, India, Case Focus General, UK, Common Ground Research Network, University of Illinois Research Park, USA, International Management Conference, ASE. As member of editorial board, he is also associated with Human Resources of Management Research in Indonesia, International Journal of Science and Management Studies, Universal Journal of Business and Management, USA and International Journal of Academic Research and Development. He is working as a mentor with Startup India, a government of Indian platform for nurturing entrepreneurship. Incube and Incubation Center backed by Government of Chhattisgarh and as a coordinator in Indore Zone, Malwa. He is also member of Research Foundation of India and member of Asian Research News, IFERP and INSC. I welcome Dr. Shresth Chhabra to our platform for our today's program. Sir? While Shresh sir is coming, I would like to give some light on today's program, which is on business analytics and business intelligence. As we all are aware about, that business analytics is directly associated these days with the business upliftment in many international companies. Many international companies are placing their analytics in a very high-end manner by which they can get their best out of results for the future forecasting of their company. I request Trace sir to take the platform. Dear all participants, till sir is joining, till, while that time, I would like to discuss about business analytics and business intelligence brief in front of you. While he's solving his glitches, let me take this opportunity to express my views. As we all have heard, business analytics refers to the skills, technologies, practices for continuous interview, exploration, and inventions in various parts of business, which will increase the high performance to gain insight and drive the business plannings. It involves using data and statistical methods to analyze the historic trends, current patterns, historic patterns, relationships with the company, within the company, the data to make and informations to take decisions and predictions about the future outcome of business. Business analytics can help an organization to identify the opportunities for growth, cost saving, and improve the efficiency of business for future run. There are some key points and concepts which are related to business analytics. Among them, the first and foremost, which is very essential for any analytics, is data collection, data processing, descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics, data visualization, business intelligence, machine learning, like for example, software learning, data driven decision making, key performance indicators. These are the 11 key points for business analytics, which are done to have a continuous growth of company and to watch out the future prospect with a pace of non-stoppable speed. With this, I would like to conclude this business analytic topic, which is an applied science of various methods which are used for organization in many segments like marketing, finance, supply chain management, operation, logistics, and many more. It helps the business to optimize the process, allocate the resources efficiently, effectively, identify the market trends, enhance the customer support, customer experience, the company upliftment, brand name upliftment, and the competitive speed of evolving business landscape. Coming to the second topic, which is our business intelligence. Business intelligence refers to the technological part, which includes the process and practice of organization used to collect, analyze the data, present business related information, and all the competitor related information. The primary goal of business intelligence, which is referred as the abbreviation of BI, is to transform the raw data into meaningful insight,
Very good
which
evening,
can
one and all present.
which is used as a guided decision making and strategic planning. I request each and everyone that session has started and briefing of the today's topic started. Kindly keep your mic off, by which it should not interrupt. The business intelligence has transformed the raw data into meaningful insight.
प्रियंका मैम
Yes, sir. Should I end up this briefing?
मैम श्रेष्ठ सर हो जाएगी
Okay, sir. With this 2 points, I'm ending up my briefing. The business intelligence is also including the data collection and data transformation and many other points which are included. Now I would like to welcome again our session chair, Dr. Shresth Chabra. Sir, you are on board.
Good evening, Priyanka ma'am. Good evening, Ajay
Yes, sir.
sir. I'm extremely thankful to you for and RFI obviously for providing me this platform. Uh, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir, you are audible, and kindly allow me to give your introduction by which I will make
So kind of
aware.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
It's so kind.
Yeah. Uh, as welcoming our today's speaker, I would like to give his brief again. Dr. Shesh Chabra holds PhD degree in labor welfare. He has experience of 21 years for teaching undergraduate, postgraduate, executive programs, PhD core work level, and guided research projects. In his present assignment, he is associate professor with Daly College Business School, Indore, which is an affiliate college of De Montfort University, UK. Sir has been reviewer with Global Journal of Labour, University of Witwatersrand, South Africa, Journal of HRM, Science Publishing Group, New York, USA, General Press India, Case Focus General UK, Common Ground Research Networks, University of Illinois Research Park, USA, International Management Conference, ASE, Bucharest. As member of editorial board, he is associated with Annals of Human Resources Management Research, Indonesia, International Journal of Science and Management Studies, Universal Journal of Business and Management, USA, International Journal of Academic Research and Development. Sir has Sir is also working as a mentor with Startup India, a government Indian platform for nurturing the entrepreneurships, incube and incubation center backed by government of Chhattisgarh and as a coordinator in Indore zone. I welcome you, sir, for our today's program, Business Analytics and Business Intelligence, and the platform is all yours.
So kind of you, ma'am. So kind of you for your kind words. Uh, good evening to everyone, all my respected colleagues who are present as of now for this 5 days long faculty development program. What an apt, it should be said that it's a very apt topic that we have chosen for interacting and for for transacting our knowledge onto it. So once again, before I begin, I welcome you all as a part of RFI Indore Zone. I welcome you all to this learning platform, and I'm sure we all would gain. I'm just your colleague who is trying to share some knowledge with you on to my experience that I had on this field of analytics and intelligence. And once again, before I begin with this program, once again I thank Priyanka ma'am and Ajay Jain sir. My heartfelt thanks to both of them, especially Ajay Jain sir. He has been instrumental in making RFI what RFI is today. With due respect to all my senior colleagues from RFI. Uh, so I would share my So this is what I would be giving a broader overview of or an idea of what how we have transacted over all these years and what has been my experience on to what you can say is that um, ever since I've done my first MBA in systems in 2001. Let me start with saying this. uh, I made a project on e-business during my MBA days. And you understand that internet was happening to us during that time when I was graduating from my business in my business management. And I was reading through papers. I was browsing through. We never had that much luxury of internet resources. But yes, I was browsing through many information. Not many journals or many newspapers were online available online. Some Most of them would have been an offline space in the library, and most of them carried a news that you know that uh, library would be a dinosaur type of era. Okay, you won't find any libraries or books in library. There would be empty shelves, and those library spaces would have converted themselves into rather a computer center, or a place where kids could sit and read. Okay, with their laptops or with their tabs, or they even if probably mobile penetration was not too high during that time, probably, so they imagined that those library spaces would be converted into a, a computer space. They went on to say that banks, the tellers in the banks, I hope you understand, the tellers are the one who are interested with the task of counting money. Uh, so, the tellers in the bank would be relics. Okay, you won't go to bank. Tellers counter would be, banks would do something with else with them. It has been almost 23 years hence, or 22 long years hence, that I made this project on e-commerce, or e-business. What do you feel? How much of this has come true? Anyone? When was the last time you read an offline book, or maybe an offline newspaper?
A newspaper this
When was
morning,
the
sir.
last that you visited
A
a
newspaper this
bank, maybe?
morning.
Yes, ma'am.
A newspaper I read this morning, but a book it has been a while.
Okay. So it has been a while that you have visited a bank.
Ah, yes, sir. We're doing it online.
Okay. How it has been before COVID? How has it been before COVID?
Sir, it was totally different and it is entirely different after
You know,
2019.
before COVID,
Yes.
before COVID, I could not think that, yes, ma'am. Please continue. Please continue. You were saying.
So before COVID, most of our transactions were offline. We had to visit the bank and do things.
Yep.
And now it is all a click away. We have all the applications on our mobile phone and we could do
True.
easily from a table.
Yes. Absolutely true, ma'am. See, before COVID, if you had to open a bank account, you could think about the process that it would involve. And I could never imagine that a KYC can be done online. Okay. But situations made it so. And after COVID, or while COVID was on, uh, there were several articles which featured that this is the new normal. Okay. I'm not arguing whether that was the new normal or this is the new normal, but I have my own observations which I would like to share with you. And obviously would like from you also to share. The first observation. There are certain processes as a part of technology that were introduced in COVID and that would stay. Okay. But may not be with all sectors. As we progress in the course of my discussion with you, I would talk to you that how the data, what we call as the big data, how that would impact the life of every one of us, probably, or it is already impacting us. and how that could, change the way the businesses have been done. So everyone thought that, that is what I was saying, that, there was something that, that were introduced during the COVID, like say Zoom, or platform like Google Meet. So it's thanks to platform like this that we are interacting, maybe sitting in different parts of this country or even in different parts of the world. You never know. But, before COVID, such type of interactions were very minimal. Okay. I teach at a UK university, and somewhere in 2016-17, my counterpart in the UK university, she told me that Shrestha, I don't turn up to university. I come to universities only 2 day. I've got a flexi working hour system at my university. I come to university only on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I work from home. And I was like, I was a bit, what should I say? I was a bit confused also. I was a bit thrilled also to know that how a person can sit at home and still work. How is it possible? Like, how does the university allows this type of thing that you can sit at home and work, and, work from home type of thing? Because in India, you have got a different understanding altogether of between work and between home. Okay. So I'm not getting into that detail as of now. But COVID taught us so. Now, work from home is not a new thing to us. Or, for you may be looking into some of your IT friends, they may still be continuing with work from home. They have stopped going to office. There is nothing as office now. Okay. Some companies have satellite office in towns. That was a yesteryear's concept, that you were stationed at a place, and from that place you would, move around, and there was no office space as such. And let me remind you, some of my friends did not join the company which worked on this concept of satellite office, because they were like, you can sit at home and you can work. And the biggest problem that, or the biggest challenge that these people face, that what would I say, tell at my home that I am working for a company sitting from my home, and they would be like laughing at me, that what do you do at home, sitting at home? Or, you have to tour the entire thing and come back and work from home. So it is like, if you remember those 80s 90s movies, those CIDs, CBI types, okay, those undercover cops. So you are behaving like one of them, that you are always around, and then you are working also, and you are drawing a salary also. So some of my friends never liked this idea of having a satellite or a remote type of a thing, remote location working, and this idea never clicked to them until COVID happened to us. Okay, so eventually we accepted many things which were in yesteryears, which were imagining, just an imagining. You remember those 60s, 70s, or rather 80s sci-fi movies, the science fiction movies which dropped in from Hollywood? Thanks to, Netflix and OTT platforms like this, now it's more in access. So they talked about laptops, okay, and now you find that we all are interacting through one, or rather, laptops are the yesterday things. No one buys a laptop. Take technology around plus 5 years, and nobody would buy a laptop then. So that's the magnitude that we are talking about. Now we can think that yes, it is possible. Now, we don't say that if somebody would share a video of you of getting a new technology, or your palm being the new phone, okay, a transparent phone is already there. So your palm being the new phone, where your palm would work as a phone, you can believe that. Okay, you don't feel that, okay, wow, is it possible? No, it is possible. You may believe that COVID has settled us most into technological, things, that you feel that yes. So we would be talking about that part also when during my presentation. So essentially, in larger part of our lives, and in larger part of my talk today, I would be more towards the business part, since we are talking about business intelligence and business analytics. So I would be more focused on the business part, the business analytics, and the business intelligence, and what way can we look forward to while we are trying to achieve this. So look at this. Okay, we understand the difference between perfect and imperfect competition. Yes, in economics, if you remember some basic economic lessons. So do I have some economist, or maybe you might have in generally talked, we have been generally talked about economics, the perfect and imperfect competition. Anyone? Anyone out here who wants to give it a try?
So competition basically is the one wherein we are selling homogeneous products.
Great.
We don't have a control over the prices. Wherein in perfect competition we are selling differentiated products, and you can have a bit of control over the prices because there is a variation in your products.
Great. Anything more you would like to add, Gaganjit ji?
Sir, in case of what we can say that in perfect competition, usually we have a selling cost involved. Advertisement cost is there, and there are large number of buyers and sellers in our market.
Great. How about access to data? How about access to information? We assume that in a perfect competition,
the customer is having the perfect knowledge. The customer is having the perfect knowledge.
Yes, absolutely. The information is equally distributed, or there is an equal access to information. Yes. So what I know, you would also know, being in the same industry.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But does it actually happen?
Sir, initially, it was not, true. But nowadays, because we have a lot of information, access to a lot of information, so we can say that to an extent nowadays it is true.
Actually, it's very true. Let me give you an example. Okay, and I would link that to my second point also, that how data was used for a competitive advantage. So we are talking about an imperfect competition, because obviously Gaganjit ji can vouch for me that in an imperfect competition, the distribution of data is very wide and varied. Okay, everyone does not have an equal amount of information. That's why you have gotten inroads into places, you have got inroads into policy makers, from where you can access the first hand information, and many companies have been charged, okay, or alleged that they have used such type of information, or they have used such type of things uh, to overshadow their competition. In the past it has been done. I don't want to name anyone as of now, but if you are if you understand business and way businesses is done, so you understand that this is how it is, the way it is. I'll give you an example. Akai, if you remember the company, okay, Akai, uh, you know it took the market by storm. It was, if you are looking at the competitor, so it was Philips, BPL. I'm talking about that type of a competition, wherein probably a 21-inch TV would sell around 11,500. So Akai was selling this 7,500 21 inches television in around 7,500, 8,000, and giving a 14-inch television free. So they had a tagline that buy one for your drawing room and we would gift you for your bedroom. So 21 and 14-inch television may be bundled together in a price less than what a nearest competitor would give it in, uh, probably more than that. And you can assume that, and you can imagine that Akai would have been an instant hit, and it was. But sooner or later, what would have happened? The story unfolds that since, obviously owing to low quality products, everyone got to understand that Akai is getting it manufactured in China. Okay. And slowly, the quality issues started coming in, and then the business rolled over. So that I'm not getting into that part of the story. But for a year or so, Akai played with that information, or Akai was able to make with that thing that from where it sourced the data, how it, how it sourced it, parts, how it is selling 7,500, 21 plus 14 type of color television. So, that was a mesmerizing thing for the market. It took market by storm. Now everyone knows that you are getting in manufactured by China, and obviously the quality issues started coming in. So many companies have created that competitive advantage because either, see what you are going to do with resource. Since Gaganjit ji, I believe, is coming from an economics background, so you have got a resource based idea. What do you do with that resource? The resource that you have in your hand. So it can be a location, it can be in any resources, but data also, the information that you can hold up, and for how many days can you hold up, or take it the other way around, what inroads you have got and how much information can you get pre-hand. Say that from tomorrow government is going to ban some export, okay, and I have this information today. So probably you understand the advantage that I have got over you as a competitor. You would come to know it tomorrow when the government would ban it. But by the time government would ban it, it would have been, my things would have been done. So that's how imperfect competition generally work. Or that's how, that's how it actually goes into. So there is too much. So, Gaganji ji was saying it right. In yesteryear it was possible that you can hold the information, you can, to some extent this is possible even today also, that you can hold the information, you can, you can take advantage from the information, but not that much. Okay, things are, being very transparent into that thing, but there is too much of information flooding. Okay, I would show you the next slide and then I would come back to this thing. So let me go on to the next slide and then I would come back to it. So I would give you some amount of this thing, that what type of information I'm talking about. Okay. If I give you a slightest of idea that, how much, what happens in 1 minute. So many things happen in 1 minute. Okay. So there are huge number of tweets. There are millions of tweets which are done. There are around 14 million searches on Google which are done in a minute. So there are posts which are done on Instagram or Facebook. Then there are lots of email which are pushed in a minute. So I just try to give you an idea that what all happens in 1 minute. Okay, in 1 hour there are so much of video which is uploaded on YouTube that you can browse or you can watch for non-stop 24 hours. So if quantity of video is just uh, reached in an hour. So in an hour, you upload that amount of data onto YouTube. So that's what I'm talking about, that this is the amount of data that we are dealing with, or this is the amount of information. I'm not, for my sake, as of now, for simplification sake, I'm not trying to give you a difference between data and information. We all understand that a process data is information. So for the sake of it, I'm keeping it interchangeably, data and information. So please don't mind me saying data. Okay. So we are, we are talking about lots and lots of data that is pulled over. And forget about it. Let me give a simpler example to this. We all are in groups. Yes, in professional groups, in family groups. Okay. So right from morning, we start receiving these good morning messages. In the afternoon, then the tone of messages, they increase. And if you are 1 hour in a lecture, okay, if you are my faculty colleague, if you are 1 hour in a lecture or in a meeting, you'd find that there are hundreds of notifications that are already there on your smartphone. Okay. So think about it. That's the amount of data that you are, and I'm sure you don't read every message. If you start reading every message, at times when I'm sitting at doctor's place or I'm sitting at some place like this, I really wonder that how life has been without a cell phone. You remember going to a doctor's place or waiting outside a doctor's place. So there were, those magazines which would be lying over there. those, yes, nobody bothers which magazines are there, but there would be some magazines which would be read, and you would read every single page of that magazine. Okay, with a smartphone you can do many things now. So that's how, and think about it, that if the perception of wait time is reduced because of the smartphone. Okay, so there is huge amount of data that actually flows in out of every day in our life. Okay, we don't know what type of data, what type of intelligence that is created every day. Okay, so what we can do about it, we can look at it from three levels, or I would say four levels. So let me categorize them into four levels. What it is exactly, so that is there in the descriptive part of descriptive analytics. What it is, why it is, it's a part of diagnostic analysis. Then what it can be, that's a part of predictive analysis. And what actions need to be done or what actions need to be taken, that's a part of prescriptive analysis. So I repeat, when it comes to data, you can look it from four different parameters, or there can be four different analyses which can be done. The first one is descriptive. What it is my customer satisfied? So carry on a customer satisfaction survey. So the survey would tell you how is my how much is my customer satisfaction, what is the level of my customer satisfaction, what makes him happy, what doesn't makes him happy, something like that. You may be filling up a feedback form after having ate at a restaurant. So some restaurant or hotels would be giving you a feedback form. So that's a feedback form which you may be filling in. Okay, or you may be part of some type of feedback after, as I said, after COVID, it's the Google form which flows in. So everyone wants your WhatsApp number so that they would send you a or scanner. Nobody even bothers about getting your WhatsApp number. Scan over it. There would be a short form that would open, and then you can give your feedback onto that form. So that's a descriptive idea. You are telling them what it is. If you're not happy about it, okay. So many websites goes on to ask you the next question: why you're not happy about it? Okay. Amazon asks you that why you're not happy about the delivery, why you're not happy about the product, why you're returning the product. It's always optional, but it is always better that if you can tell me. Because good people like you and me, they would go ahead and write everything on the, on Amazon's wall or on some blogs or something like that. And they would write everything, what is good, what is not good about this product. They would write everything. Okay. So that's where, the diagnostic comes in. So they would tell you why, what or which part was not good at it. Then comes the predictive. What is the future? Okay. So I would be coming on to this applications later. So please remember this, analytics part of it. I'm not getting too technical onto it. Okay. And I'm keeping myself away from Python and R and all such type of stuff. I'm not getting equally into the coding part of it. So predictive would tell you that what it can be. Okay. Like say if people are not buying things, probably what it can be, why people are not buying things, or the diagnostics would give you and things that if this is the trend that we are observing, how it can be like. Okay, so that can be a predictive type of thing. And obviously final is the prescriptive. Descriptive, that means that what action you need to take in, that if it is not catching up, what action you can do to make it catch up more. Okay, so that's how I believe this part is clear to you. Any doubts, any questions till this point? Anyone? Am I clear on this idea till now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we go ahead with this. So I already given you an idea that what all happens in 1 minute. So it's a huge amount of data that flows in 1 minute. Okay, so now I come to the next part of it, wherein we talk about business intelligence and business analytics, what this workshop is all about. Okay, give me a minute, please. Give me a minute. Thank you. Business intelligence. See, you want, as I told you. So let me take you back to my MBA days, and then I would connect it from there. Any person who had done some BCA or a bit of a systems idea into it, let me precisely ask you. You might have any subject as MIS, Management Information System. Someone? Anyone who had gone through a basic concepts of MIS, Management Information System?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So management information system would tell you that there is a huge amount. So like Vidya ma'am was saying that there is that there are everyday transactions. Okay, so these transactions are happening at the operational level. So you report this operational level transaction to the middle management, and from there, in a summary form, it goes to the top management. So you have got, in sales term, you have got the daily sales report, then the weekly sales report, monthly sales report, quarterly sales report, and so on. So what essentially I am talking to you is that this concept of intelligence has been that everyday operational data, you capture that type of an operational data every day. It happens in almost all industries, small, big, whatever it may be. So you capture in bigger industries, it's a more sophisticated way of doing it. Okay, like say, I give you an example. If you have been working in Maruti, then every day, based on the count of the human resource that is available with them, or present, the speed of conveyor belt on the assembly line is set. So based on that, you have to work actually. So that's what I'm saying, that everyone captures the operational data, because there are lots and lots of transactions which are happening at the operational level. So everyone captures that operational data. What do you do with that data? As I was telling you, that then that data flows to the next level, and then that data goes to a higher level, and the summary, it goes in a form of summary. So what exactly you do? You try to gauge is that okay, this was my, say, today's target. So was it achieved, or what should I do in a month, what should I do in a week, something like that. So you can always gauge yourself that to what extent I am on to the target, or how close I am to the target which I have set. Even in these days, you have got something that you call as performance budgets. So unlike traditional ways wherein you budget in the starting, and you compare your actuals against the budgeted to look into the deficits and something, you can always choose a mid path. Okay, and those mid paths, you can do something about that. Those mid paths can give you an indicator that whether you are moving in the right direction or not. We understand that if you have been into an eatery, or if you are say a hospitality, there would be an automatic traffic that would be flowing on the weekends. Okay, everyone wants to be out on weekend, not to cook at home, something like that. So you have got huge deliveries coming on to say weekends. You have got huge deliveries coming, whether people coming to dine out, things like that. Okay, so you know uh, around, if I remember that thing right, uh, how much do you feel, just as a part of data, I'm asking you, how much do you feel that biryanis were served, or biryanis were biryanis were served by Zomato during that 30th 31st of December? So I understand that it's the next 31st approaching. Just to give you some idea onto that. Any idea? Take a guess.
Maybe, sir, some lakhs of orders, per day.
Especially Gaganjit ji, if we are talking about 31st, or during that.
Sir, on that 31st, I think.
So some data would tell you that it was around 300 kgs of biryani that was transported, or that was, that traveled through Zomato as a platform. Even the data can be more. I might have just given you an idea of 30 tons. Even the data could have been more. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there is a huge lot of data which is available at the operational level. Okay. So I was telling to that, I was giving you an idea that the traffic, if you look into the entire hospitality industry, the traffic automatically flows on a weekend. So what should I do with on all the 5 other weekdays? I need to have some strategy for that. You getting my point? Okay. So that's where you find some people have adopted Wednesday Bazaar as a mid of the week. Some people have started some other offs or some other things on to some other weekdays. Like I give you a restaurant example at Indore. Yes, yes, Gaganji ji. Please continue.
No, no, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay, okay. No, no
Please
issues, no
continue.
issues.
Yes.
So what happens that, so I was giving an example of a restaurant at Indore. So what they do, it's a based at it's based at in a educational hub. There are close to 3 or 4 bigger education colleges, engineering, management, and other colleges hubs, which is surrounded with. So obviously, you find that the student crowd that it would cater, that is point number one. Obviously, so that's not the Saturday Sunday crowd. Okay, so what they have started doing is that they have kept every, right from Monday to Friday, one thing is available in just rupees say 50. So say for example, you can have mocktails in 50 on Monday. You can have something other in 50 bucks, or rather I should say 49 bucks on Tuesday. Some other burger plus potato, this French fries on Wednesday, something like that. Not on Saturdays and Sundays. We understand the concept of happy hours. Okay, so 12 to 4 types. So what I'm trying to give you an idea is that when business intelligence is about that, the data that you have got from everyday operations, what do you do with that data? Okay, to run the present organization or to run the present operations. Okay, so you have got enough of information available from the clients, from, what do you do? So that is where business intelligence would help you to look into that data, to help you get onto a groove with that data, that what you can do with this type of a data. Am I clear till this point? This is what business intelligence can do for you. Okay. So at one point of time, everyone was like, I give you another example. At one point of time, everyone was, having, or what should I say, a chip-based card. Okay. So they were giving you smart cards so that you can, BPCL introduced, Bharat Petrochemicals, they introduced a program of smart cards. Many other companies, they started giving you a smart card, or they would, give you a customer loyalty bonus cards. Okay. So many retail giants also started giving you those cards, that if you shop from these cards, you would get an extra discount, you would get earn loyalty points. So those loyalty points can be redeemed, something like that. Okay. So everyone was wanting the data from the customer, that what customer purchases, what he likes, what he dislikes. So, they were using that everyday purchase. And that's how, they started offering you this thing, that you can have, say, flat 10% off if you are going with a bill of 5,000 or more. So Big Bazaar would offer you such type of schemes. And many other things, it continues still with many retail markets. So that's a part of business intelligence. This is where analytics comes in. Okay. So it's more of statistics when it comes to analytics. Okay. And try and get one, if we need to understand the difference between the two, try and get the difference between the two. Intelligence is more present idea, that what it is. So it's more of the descriptive and probably the diagnostic part. If I may use, if I draw that liberty of simplification, that we started with talking about, that data has got a different level of, we were talking about this, the analytics. So I talked about descriptive, I talked about, diagnostics, predictive, and then prescriptive. So if I use this liberty to simplify, then analytics would talk about it's more of the predictive and prescriptive type of things. Okay. And then you can include AI part in the upper hand side. That means the prescriptive part. I'll come to that example shortly. So analytics is the you gather the data from intelligence. Okay. So you already the data from intelligence. Now with the data that you have already gathered from the intelligence, what exactly you can do? You can predict the future. So, for example, the last time we stopped was that I have given you a card. Okay, you came to my retail store. I am a retail store, maybe anything like Pantaloon, Reliance, or DMart, anything like that. I give you a card. Okay, that please carry this card, and then it's a chip-based card. If every time you purchase, you would get a loyalty, something, 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 or I would give you additional discounts, anything like that. Okay. So that was point one, wherein I am collecting information. So that is a part of business intelligence. So what do I do with that data? There would be hundreds of customers which would be opting for such type of loyalty program, say across India. Okay, if I'm talking about across India. So a large volume of data would flow into me. What next? Okay, I've got the data that what sells, what doesn't sells, things like that. So what next? Okay, as a manager you would, or as a store manager, you would also like to understand and ask that what next. Okay, what should I do next about it? So have you experienced such type of cards? What do they do? I'm sure as a consumer you might have this loyalty bonus or something like that. So what do they do? I believe yes. As a consumer, you might have experienced this type of so-called loyalty cards and loyalty things.
Probably to
Yes, sir.
identify the trends, purchase trends.
Vikranji, I'm sorry I missed you on that thing. You were saying something.
I was talking about the purchase trend, to identify the purchase trend.
They also take our phone numbers and all.
That's that as I told you, that's a part of one intelligence level. I tell you something. People are so data hungry. I give you incidents right from today. I went to get one thing photocopied. Okay, and the photocopy man who was sitting over there in the shop, and he said that, can I, in order to enter into a register, can I have your name and number? And I said, why? Sir, you because I've been asked to enter every photocopy. How come any person who comes to get a photocopy should enter his name or number? Why and what makes it legitimate? You might have gone through those so-called billing softwares wherein the person asks you, sir, can I have your mobile number, please? Why do you
Exactly.
want my mobile number? So you're right, Siddharji, that everyone is so data hungry that they want to, and the point is that, okay, have my mobile number. Okay. In many point of purchase may have your mobile numbers. Okay, right from medicine, from you where you purchase a medicine, a sophisticated medicine, you have captured the data. My question is, what do you do with that data? That's where the question comes.
Sir, it will help us in predicting the trends and the patterns, frequencies, how a customer is behaving, their buying patterns, buying behavior.
Agree. Agree. It should, rather, Gaganji, I would say that it should. Now, the point that I'm trying to tell you is that What exactly you are trying to do with that data is a question mark for many sellers or retailers or even manufacturers. You're right, absolutely, that it should help you in predicting many things. Okay, we would come to on that thing, that how in real time many companies use that data. In practice, you would find that every other, I would use this word, every other shopkeeper has got a so-called system in his place. Thanks to computers being cheap now, he has got some software which are again a cheaper, which have got the entire setup cost is not too high. And this sophisticated shopkeeper would ask you your data, he would feed in your data, he would ask your mobile number, he would feed in, there would be, it may be linked that there would be an SMS coming to you that, thank you Mr. Gaganjeet for shopping with us, have a nice day, or something like that. Agreed. What next? They don't have any answers to that, or rather they have not migrated to the sophistication level which is required the next. Okay, like say, I give you one example, I give you one simple small example. Ankit, yes, Upadhyaji, you want to say something?
Ma'am, so, sorry, sir. Sir, I would just like to add on that do they use that data to actually give offers to the customers or potential customers or to identify who their loyal customers are?
Actually yes, actually yes. See, that's what I am asking, ma'am. My point of explaining this idea to you, the example that I would be giving next is very simple. When we talk about intelligence, when we talk about analytics, you know generally we I was reading it through some article, and it said that analytics is certain term which is used with larger businesses, larger companies use it. As you grow into size, you may be using intelligence and analytics at a sophistication level. Agreed, I don't deny that. But my point telling you is that sophistication level does not mean that what you would be doing with that data. It is a plain simple logic that what exactly you can predict many things out from the data. Like let me give you some example. Okay, because then if we tend to believe that analytics and intelligence is only for larger companies, then we would be moving out all MSMEs out of the picture, which actually you also understand that they are the backbone of our economy. Okay, so you cannot ignore, or you cannot let go, especially the MSMEs. Forget about the MSMEs. The medium scale still can manage, but if we talk about small and micro scale, I'm not trying to overshadow them, or I'm not trying to plainly say to them that you can't do about anything about it. Let me give an example, or rather two examples to this. And these two examples I draw from COVID. We all had grocery supply issues in COVID, especially in those initial lockdown times. One of the grocery shopkeeper, but these grocery shopkeepers were allowed some relaxation for home delivery and things like that. One of these grocery shopkeepers in my area, what he started doing is that he formed a WhatsApp group. That's the easiest way to form. Yes, so he formed a WhatsApp group. You can send him actually a list. Okay, he had you had the grocery orders on Big Basket or something during a specific period, say 7 to 9 slot type, something like that. So he opened up those different slots, that the person residing next to the next one would have this slot, the next one would have this slot, something like that. So he would open the channel, only admin setting onto two slots, and these two slots you can send him an order at one go. Okay, and that order would be delivered to you as per the availability in the next slot, as the easiest way. So that's the easiest way that you can still run your business if you just have a customer mobile number. That's what my point of asking was, that what do you do with the customer mobile number? Okay, Siddharthi was pointing that that people keep asking for aapka mobile number de do. What do you do with that mobile number? So make sense. My point is that sense is not about collecting data. Sense is about doing something with that data. This is one example. Another example I give you. A restaurant owner, what he would do, he had some numbers of the customer, okay, that he might have collected. Okay, like Siddharth was saying, asking from the order that what's your number, something like that. And then he analyzed it from that, his system, his so-called unsophisticated software or basic billing software, that what he would generally eat, he manually did that. What a customer say would generally eat. And he found that, okay, Chawla ji is a non-vegetarian, Gaganjit ji might have been vegetarian, Ankita madam would have been again a vegetarian. So similarly, so what he would do, he would pitch, again, he made a WhatsApp group of non-vegetarian and vegetarian difference, and he would place the menu, say today's menu, in that thing. Very limited menu. Okay, whether it may be veg or non-veg, not more than 2 or 3 dishes for dinner available, and only for dinner. And he carried on his business almost through many unlocks. We were unlocking ourselves in a phase. So till and until he resumed back to his normal business. He carried on with that, limited menu thing, and it has done marvelous job. And then what he did, based again, on the back of customers, and you may be knowing this idea, he introduced the combos. Okay, that say a similar combo, like say 2 laksha parathas and paneer, 2 laksha parathas and butter chicken, this much. That's it, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, and he found it to be instant hit among students and professionals. Okay, those bachelors living around in the vicinity. So what I'm trying to tell you is simple, very simple idea, that you have collected that data. Okay, everyone is hungry about your data. Everyone wants your business card. Everyone wants your data. Somehow, remember those schools which were organizing those drawing and painting competition, okay, and giving away free distribution gifts. They also want your data. Okay, that okay, let me come up, let me counsel that. The holiday package people also want your data. Everyone wants your data. Agreed? What do you do with that data? That's where predictive and prescriptive things comes in. Okay, so everyone, what do with they would do with the data? As Gaganji was telling, they would be very sophisticated in analyzing what are your current needs, what are your future needs, something like that. Or most importantly, the next thing that most of the Indian businesses would do with your data is give you a call. Simple. Do you want this? Do you want a credit card? Do you want this? So, all block numbers. All block numbers. Okay. Thanks to Truecaller, they tell you that who is calling. Okay. And people have given magical names, ठीक है, fraudster, पता नहीं क्या क्या अच्छे अच्छे नाम दे रखे हैं लोगों ने ऐसे business. So what I'm trying to tell you is that what exactly you are doing with that data would matter, or that's where the next step is. That's where you can make the next decision. Okay. So I hope my point is clear now. Any doubts? Any questions till this point before I move to the next thing? Any questions, anyone? Or any doubts, anyone?
Sir, no.
Okay, fair enough. So what are businesses doing about it? Okay. So I've tried to give you some data from, uh, would you mind if I rejoin you within 1 minute, please?
Sure, sir.
Okay, please give me 1 minute. Please give me 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. Uh, so try to give you some data as to what. Now we come to the application part of it. We have spoken about much of the theories to talk about it. Now we come to the application part of it. That what do you do with the, or how businesses are trying to take advantage from the data that they have. Okay, I'm not trying to tell you that if you search something on Google, so you would see those similar ads on Facebook or similar ads on Insta, something like that. It's something which everyone knows. Okay, businesses have taken your data far and beyond. Okay, like Gaganji was given an example that you can actually look into what your consumers are willing to buy. Yes, that's what exactly Walmart does. Okay, so based on what the consumer demand may be, okay, in a part of as a part of predictive analysis, based on what the consumer demand may be, they have trimmed down. Actually, they use this data to manage the entire operations, or better, I should say, the entire inventory. Okay, so that is where they use it. That they keep those inventory which is likely to be on demand. So as I was giving you an example, that you collect huge amount of data. You are talking about Amazon, you are talking about Walmart. Look into the type of volume of data that would flow to them every day, or rather every hour. Okay, so again, the question would be, what exactly are they doing with this data? So that's where, see, if you are not able to take the cost of collecting that data, you are not making any sense out of it. Then why you are collecting that data? Okay, like I give you one example. Again, this example comes in terms of Zomato. So something that you call as nudge marketing. So what they do is that they had given an option, that if you don't want cutlery or plastic cutlery to come up with your order, click here. Okay? And most of us won't remember to click that. So what they did instead is that they reversed this idea, and they say that if you don't want, so it's already clicked that I don't want additional plastic cutleries, okay, to come from the restaurant. If you want them, you have to check it off. I hope you are getting my point. Initially, they were trying to tell the customers, or they were wanting to tell the customers, Gaganji, since you were talking about the consumer behavior. Okay. So initially, they were trying to tell you that, save from plastic or go green types. But most of us would order without looking into that option, that they have this option that, okay, I don't want a cutlery, I don't use the plastic spoons that come with the order. I have my spoon at home, a steel spoon at home, which I can use and eat. Okay, but since the customer was not aware of this option, largely it would go unnoticed. But now what they have done, they have started doing it reverse, that I do not want this. So if you want this, you have to click it, you have to check it negative. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is, that's what I'm saying. If you want to induce something, the data can help you induce something. Okay, provided you know that how my consumer is. So what exactly is going in terms of my consumer? Talk about hospitals and healthcare providers. So sophisticated hospitals and healthcare providers, so they can give you, what type of risk you are running at. Predictive analytics. Okay, so they can help predictive analytics to give you that what type of risk you are running at. Okay, again, remember that it's not 100% proof that this is what would exactly happen to you. No, nobody. I would come to that part later. Shortly, I would come. But yes, that would give you an idea, larger idea, that what exactly can happen to you, say, over 5 years of time, or how, if this is your heart and these are your blockages, or this is the level of TSH that you are running at. What are the chances? Like say in sports, you have those win predictions. So now, if you have got the cholesterol deposition, what are your lose predictions? Okay, that you may lose your heart. Okay? So sometimes that what are the, so even genetics about this thing, that you predict that thing. Say for example that, I give you just an example as to how predictive analytics can work for you. Say your average spend on credit card has been 3 or to 5,000. Okay, suddenly you find that, uh, you know you the bank finds that your average spend has raised, say, from 5,000 or beyond. Okay, so it may not be, out of the thousands of data, credit card data that flows through the bank servers, if you have
Hello, sir.
got,
Hello.
yes, please.
Sir, these data can be calculated in Power BI.
Sorry, please come again.
Sir, Power BI
Power
tool.
BI, see, Power BI is are a part of software tools, Tripathi ji, which can help you give such calculations. So that Power BI is more towards business intelligence.
Okay. And sir, these gaining advantages in business, whatever this is, these are the means the these data are helpful in the AI based learning technology.
See, what I'm trying to talk to you, or if you have been listening to me through this, Tripathi sir, I have been talking to this larger idea that uh, over these years, businesses are using the data that you have collected in different means, ways, and modes. And this is, I'm just trying to give you an idea that how gaining advantage in business would mean that how, this data that businesses have collected can be or is used in business as of now through the use of software, sophisticated software, and other tools.
Then
I
sir,
hope I'm making sense to you.
how the data are collected?
How the data is collected.
Sir, how the data are being collected?
Okay. See, like say, I give you the example that I was talking to you is that, say, for example, your credit card data. Okay.
Okay.
So bank have your, bank have your credit history, bank have your average credit spend every year. If you have been a regular credit card user, so bank knows that, what's the highest spend. This is the example. So bank have this data. Yes, agreed?
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay. So based on that data, so if say suddenly Tripathi Saab's credit card is showing a bill of 30,000, 35,000, so this is an alarm. Yes. So this
Okay.
indicates either that, either there is something wrong. So, those servers would catch up with this data that there is something wrong with, or there is something fishy with this credit card or this thing. And then you can, you have to, this raises an alarm to the bank also and to the consumer also. Okay. So, there is some watchful things which are always on. Say you might have gone through that idea that some of these frauds happen when we are sleeping. So it is only in the morning that we realize that some frauds are happening. But then these servers are, can analyze many things based on the algorithm that you have given to these servers. They can analyze that usually this consumer is, available to spend, or usually the time that he spends is between this and this hours. Okay. So how he is transacting, say 2 in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning, chances are it may be a fraudulent transaction happening through his account. So what if I flag this thing, or if I ask for an additional OTP, something, you can then look out for many things that you can do with this data. So point that I'm trying to explain to you is that what do you do essentially with the data? Okay. The data which is already available to you through various sources. So that's how companies are using it. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
think about it that, we talk about productivity in manufacturing. So, there is an immense possibility of improving productivity with the data that is flowing through. Okay. So you can look forward to data from each assembly line. You can look forward to data from each worker, everyday production. So there is a huge amount of, I was just giving you an example. Let me give you this example. There are sophisticated techniques. Okay. There are powerful tools. If you are a cricket lover, or it is possible even in many other fields also, they can scan you thoroughly, and they can tell you that if Bumrah is bowling from this angle, or if this is happening, or if the ball is going this side, or if Bumrah steps that side, this is when this type of ball comes in. Okay. So mostly, and in near future, a batsman who would come to bat would definitely know the so-called bowling strategies that are used by you. Okay, so he knows that if the fielder is put on that side and if he's bowling from this side, what type of ball can I expect? My point is that if you know everything, then what exactly you are doing in game? Say, see, if I'm the batsman and I know that what type of ball is predicted based on the field and everything, what a bowler can do. Okay, I'm leaving the question mark as of now. I would come to this point later. Okay, so that's the level of analysis, and beyond that, beyond our imagination, that's the point of analysis. What can be done? So you can, insurance earns basically on the way that you are running into a risk business, but you want to lower down your risk. So you want to predict that what is the type of risk with this customer, with every customer that you take in. What's the amount of risk which is available to you? Okay, so your health records, many things can help them calculate the amount, that how risky you can be with the customer. If they take up more risky customers, their payouts would be high, they would be, they would drown in the business. So insurance business run on this idea that they are to absorb lower risk and they are to give, so that's where, earn more premium and reward less, so less risky, more premium. So the difference sits between is their profit. General electricals, for example, okay, that when the engine maintenance is needed, Disney can help you, that what type of, like say, some of training programs would give you a pre-training data, or they would ask you some pre-assessment of that thing, and based on that pre-assessment that you give to them, they would, they would mold the content of the training. So that's the simplest way of doing with it. As a part of, since I come from the field of human resources, so human resources, and off late I have done a refresher course in HR analytics as well. So this can, you can look into many cost calculations and you can predict that how uh, this cost, how much is this cost exactly, or what would be this cost when it comes to, the cost advantage type of things. So right from, I'm not getting more into detail as of now, but right from joining to post exit, everything can be calculated, or everything can be, it's simple. It's not Excel, which I would talk about, or advanced Excel, which I talk about. There are dashboards which can give you many things. Okay, so right from student management to employee management, your dashboard can tell you many things. Okay. Having said all this, or having, any questions before I move to the last part of, or the last leg of my presentation? Anyone? Any question? Or
Sir, how data analytics evaluate the risk, sir?
sorry, Tripathi ji, can you please?
Sir, how the data analytic tools determine or evaluate the risk value?
The risk value. Okay, good. In terms of insurance, you are asking?
Yes, sir. In terms of insurance or in terms of marketing media?
Marketing or in anything. Okay, great. Okay. See, what you do is that you feed the, like I give you a very simple idea. Every one of us would have at some point of time in life done a blood test, CBC, what you call complete blood count. Yes. What happens, Tripathi ji, in a CBC or in a normal blood count test is that you have got a standard value and or reference value, what you call it, and then you have got the actual values. Say the reference value says that male should have a, say, hemoglobin level between 13 to say 16. So that becomes a reference value. Anything beyond this deviation, okay, and based on again what doctors are to predict, they can calculate the amount of risk that what can be. And I'm giving you simplified, very simplified example. So you have got those reference values. How much does the actual data deviates from that reference value can give you the amount of risk going forward. That's where predictive analysis comes in. I hope my answer to you is clear.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Any further doubts before I move ahead?
No.
Okay. So now I come to the last thing of my this thing. Okay. Have you watched this movie Heart of Stone? Anyone? Released on Netflix.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Abhaji, then you can be of help to me. uh, you remember the starting scene? Let me know, everyone who might have not watched this movie. Let me give a small basic idea. Okay. The actress which is displayed on the poster is her name is Stone. Okay. And Heart is
Yes.
a very sophisticated software. Okay. Inbuilt software, hardware type of a system. Very sophisticated. Okay. And next level of science fiction that we can talk about. Essentially, what happens that they are, they are, let me give you a small idea to this thing. So what happens that they are there to catch up, say, a criminal, arms dealer, okay, and the software gives this lady Stone, which is named as Stone, an idea that as to how she can escape from from the situation, or what can be the best escape plan. Okay, so there is a path, a virtual path, which is driven for her, and she goes on to that path. I believe someone has raised the hand. Okay, so there is a virtual path made for her, that how she can escape, or what can be the shortest path of her, and how she, what is uh, what can be the next path available. At one point of time, she has to jump over a cliff. Okay, a higher spot she has to jump from, and the software says that the chances of her making a successful jump or taking this route is only 33% or something like that, very low. Okay, because the rest of the path is 89 or 90% types, and the man who is along with him guiding her, so he tries to stop her, that don't, please don't jump. The software says it's only 33% that you can make it to that level. Still, she goes on and makes a jump. She's entangled in a wire, and she makes her way from the wire. And that is where she says, if everything has to be done with this thing, if the software has to decide everything, then what are we for? Okay, so if that's where the concept of human intelligence comes in. Okay, and that's where my point telling you is that, despite of the fact that, Apaji, you would like to add something?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. That's where this idea of human intelligence comes in. See, if you have everything, if software can tell or predict, or everything can be done through a software, then why probably people like you and me are required? Or probably then why this FDP is required? Okay, the answer would be no. Okay, you can sit at your home. I can have a, we both can enjoy a cup of tea sitting at our places, waiting for some software to predict what can be the next thing, what can, how it can be the next thing. To that extent that some people have made these predictions that AI would replace many jobs, or many people would be out of the job. Okay, say, Chat GPT, when it was introduced, people were started telling that now many people would be out of the job. See, that's what happens in every 10 years of life, of a professional life. If you do look into that, 10 years, the job which are not existent today would be existent in the next 10 years. The job which are existing today, some of them would be redefined in the next coming 10 years. Okay. So if I give you an idea of a decade, you might have not predicted someone would be a content writer in social media. Okay. Say, way back 10 years, just tune back yourself 10 years. You might have not thought about a content writer type of a job. In coming 10 years, those jobs may be taken up by AI, or chat GPT would be doing something like that. Universities have started incorporating chat GPT into their plagiarism software, so that some software can tell you that this is assignment made by chat GPT. Reports tell you that chat GPT is incurring losses. So to what extent it may survive incurring such losses every day, it is getting into loss. So how much losses can it bear before it actually becomes profitable, or its survival would become a question mark? So nobody can predict the future. Let's not get into that prediction. Okay. Remember that you and me, okay, we need to upskill, we need to reskill, we need to redesign ourselves, we need to be see, I don't know, before say COVID, how many of us would have interacted in this manner over a virtual meet for learning something? I really doubt. Okay. And let me ask, MOOCs, the open online courses. Okay. I won't name any platform, okay, with due respect to all of them. I tried doing MOOCs when they were, initially introduced. I found them so dull and boring. I'm really sorry saying this, but that was there, because most probably I was not able to interact with the static medium. I would come to this thing more. Okay, I would get in a bit detail of this. A person speaking on a video which is pre-recorded, and there is no interaction. Okay, I cannot interact with the person. So how would you gauge my learning? God knows. Okay, so that entire learning process becomes a question mark. COVID made us believe that no, this can be done. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. That thanks to COVID, we talk about, remember those economics types? We talk about the pre-91, post-91. Similarly, now there is a new milestone, that pre-COVID, post-COVID. So post-COVID, this is the new normal that we are dealing with. Okay? So what exactly you can do? See, you can, I come to that question that I picked up from there, that what can a sportsman, if you as a bowler, all your moves are predicted, everything is done, what can you do then? That's where the surprise things comes in. Okay, that can you take that by surprise? Okay, so remember that you might have watched that movie 83, the World Cup that we won. Okay, and Kapil Dev goes on to ask one of his bowlers, what made you bowl him? And he said that, Paji, I do that. And he tries to explain that, and then he later on expresses himself that I don't have an apt explanation as to how did I bowl this way. So remember, as human beings, it can surprise you. Technologies are more or less predictable in nature. Human beings can surprise you. That's where human intelligence comes in. Okay, and I doubt that I would be able to play this video as of now, or this video would be visible. Shall I try it if you allow me?
Yes,
It's a
sir.
small
Sure,
video
sir.
of Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar giving an interview to at BMW Melbourne. And if it is visible to you and if it goes well, let me try this. Let me try this once. Uh, okay, let me stop sharing and let me come back to you on this.
And it did wonders for our team. We were playing against New Zealand, and Chris Keynes was bowling. This was in India.
Is it visible and audible, please?
It is visible, but
Is it? I believe that the sound is a bit low,
yeah,
on this.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
On
Can we
this.
not increase the sound?
I have to from my end. I have made it full, but I really
Okay.
doubt that this. Still, if you can, shall I continue with this?
Yes, sir. Please continue, sir.
Yes.
Let's.
Yes, sir, continue, sir.
Mohali, so in your hometown, uh, it was the ball was reverse swinging, and Chris Gaines was virtually beating us 2-3 times an over. I was batting with Rahul Dravid, so the main batters were batting. We'd like to believe that we were the main batters, and we were getting beaten, and we were sort of clueless because we couldn't see the shine. Sometimes the surfaces are such that it becomes a little difficult to figure out which side is the shiny side and which is the rough side. I expect all you guys to know what reverse swing is. Reverse swing is wherever the shiny side is, the ball starts to go in that direction. Even if the bowler wants the ball to go in the opposite direction, it will not go because of the imbalance and the surface of the ball. So Chris had started doing that. And I met with Rahul in the middle of the wicket, in the middle of the over. I said, I've got an idea. And he said, do you want to share it now or after the over? And I said, I'll share with you after the over, but it can work. So Rahul said, okay, tell me now, what is your idea? I said to Rahul, I am closer to the bowler. And when he's walking back on the run-up, I need to stand here. When he's walking back onto his run-up, I would be watching him closely and I'd be watching the ball. Which side is the shiny side and which side is the rough side? So Rahul said, then what happens after that? I said, whichever side is the shiny side, I will hold the bat in that hand. If he's going to bowl an outswinger, the bat is going to be in my left hand. If he's bowling in swinger, the bat is in my right hand at the non-striker's end. So that's the only time in my career when the batsman is ready to face the ball. He's not watching the bowler, he's watching the bat in my hand. So he's
very good.
So Rahul is watching me, and suddenly, you see a couple of cover drives being hit for boundaries, and on drives passing, piercing mid wicket and mid on. And Chris is like wondering. I mean, these guys were getting beaten a couple of times every over, and suddenly I'm giving away a couple of boundaries. There's definitely something wrong. So all the fielders were watching me because I was, watching Chris and not Rahul. And normally, no batsman stands facing the bowler. He would be like facing the other batter. And then I would quickly change the bat. And by then, they had sort of figured out that there is something fishy. And Chris lost his momentum. He lost his rhythm. And he held the ball cross seam. And he bowled the ball. And instead of, looking at Rahul or checking what has happened there, he looks at me and I said, what have you got for this? Chris didn't realize that I had also warned Rahul that if I don't know what is coming, I'm going to hold the bat in the middle. So that is how the story goes. So it's just, in short, it's just being a step ahead of your opposition.
So I believe this might have made sense to you. No, that how that's where, see, that's where intelligence comes in. That what exactly you are going to do with that. So towards my fog end, or towards my end of this is the last slide which I want to talk to you. What can be the way forward? Okay, do we believe that machines would replace humans? Okay, we all run on an entire risk of over reliance on automation. We are running at that risk. Okay, plus I since I come from a labor background, I would this is my request also, and this is my idea also. And being living in the second most populous country in the world, or largest populous country in the world, we need more of labor intensive platforms wherein we can find jobs. People can do something with this thing. Yes. So this is, I'm not talking about a type of an ideal situation. No, People would use technology. But what can we look forward to is that it's a coexistence. Like, say, for example, all our so-called, what should I say, all our so-called customer care things have turned on to an IVRS. Okay. And IVRs are, I don't know how comfortable you are with an IVR, but the general survey about an IVR says that people look forward to human interaction. They are looking forward to the number or the option in IVR where they can go and connect with with someone whom they can speak about, okay, or they can talk to, they can talk their problems with, or they can discuss their problems with. Obviously, you have got many simpler things. You want to know your balance, you can SMS. You want to know an offer, you can SMS. Many things can happen over an SMS or WhatsApp, or you have got WhatsApp banking, which can help you with initially with many things. There are chatbots, and let me tell you honestly, my experience with chatbots have been very difficult. Okay, getting on with chatbots, they have got a very limited type of a menu to offer to you, and most of the time you are not facing a problem something from the menu. I don't know how many times, if you take a quick survey. So I believe that it's only, chatbots are helpful to you only for 30%, 70%. You want someone to look into that. See, that's where the human intelligence, that's where the human interaction comes in. Because, that's where, those fancy uh, names or fancy softwares, they cannot decide things for you. Remember, that's what I was saying, that's the reason why I give you this example from the movie Heart of the Stone. So, these fancy things won't solve things for you. Okay. We all have data, or rather everyone has got a data. Okay. Sooner or later, everyone who has got a data. Say, for example, if I talk about colleges, all of the colleges would have student data who might have passed the CMAT or any one of the examination. And then what do? They give calls to them saying that, okay, oh, join my college, I would do this, I would do that, something like that. If this would have, reached admission, if procuring data and making calls to that data would have given you admissions, then probably everyone would have, more or less got an admission. But that's not the case. It is. Okay. That's the initial phase of it. So that's a point of contact, what I should say. If points of sales or points of contact would have served the entire purpose, life would have been quite easy for all of us. That's where the importance of faculty comes in, therein where the importance of infrastructure comes in. Many things, that comes in. So you cannot undermine the importance of that. Okay. So technology can obviously help you. Again, I would come to that thing. It's a resource base. Human is also a resource. So similarly, technology is also a resource. Analytics, intelligence, all these are means and ways of doing things. Don't try to take it as a replacement. And I'm not asking any charity. When I say this to the business leaders, I'm not asking any charity that you employ people. No. You employ people because obviously there are many things which are, which are beyond technology. Okay? There are many moves which are beyond technology. If intelligence would have done, if artificial intelligence could have done everything, forget about the future. People say that, there would be exact replica of human mind. It would be emotions also, many things also. But you can, again, if you believe that to happen, then believe in those sci-fi movies also. They tell you that how, iRobot in 2030 would behave like, or how, that would lead to another level of destruction, or machine would cause another level of destruction. That won't be, far of the things. I was going through a documentary. It says that, why do you want to own a nuclear weapon? We can, when you can, actually control them sitting at a remote place. So the war is not about owning a nuclear weapon. No, the war is about controlling the nuclear weapon which are already existent. So that's what I'm saying, that, in any sense that you talk about in sense of business, you talk about in sense of running a country, anything. It's not the amount of data that you have got, or, what you can do with that data would matter. No, it's the person who is finally going to take a decision on based on that data that would actually matter. And this is where the deciding fate of any business or right from family unit to anywhere, which want what see you might have, if you want to, as a consumer, say I give you an example, as a consumer you want to purchase a mobile phone, you want to purchase a television, anything, you have got enough and enough of reviews to compare between two brands, to compare between this, they would give you in-depth analysis of everything. Finally it's up to you to purchase. Okay, it's up to how do you make use of that data, that is up to you. So that's how finally everything boils down to the human understanding, the human psyche, that what type of decisions do they make. uh, Gaganjit ji was talking about the consumer behavior. So there is a concept of black box. Okay, when we talk about consumer behavior theory, there is a concept of black box. We talk about this essentially, that how a consumer, there is something which is hidden in terms of consumer, that still don't know that what how this consumer can turn around, whether he would buy or he would not buy, whether what decision would he take. Chances are all predictive analysis may fail. Okay, that how does if if computers would have decided your fate, then the fate would have been very different. Okay, so it's simply saying in that way that if all fates are decided by astrology, okay, then probably you and me would not have been sitting as a as a part of this thing. So it is with due respect to all sciences which are existence. Okay, but after all, human intelligence, human efforts, and everything does matter. So what can we do as a business person? We can take our people to the next level. That's what I have written next it that way. That is, the E is important. Okay, if you feel that technology is the driver, use technology as an enabler. Okay, don't try to replace humans with technology. Technology is an enabler. Redesign your job, send them, make their jobs easy. I give you a very simple example. In yesteryears we had those physical, when I did my PhD, we were working on a physical questionnaire. Okay, so those physical questionnaires had to be gone through, and they have to be distributed, collected back, and then the data level entry might have been done. When I started my job with this UK universities, they had given a their research methodology starts from level 2. That means they would give that out of a consumer survey which was carried out, this is the data which is obtained. Now you have to now answer the following questions from this data. So they are not bothered about collecting the data. Forget about it. Okay, you answer these questions from the data which has been collected. Okay, their approach is that as a manager you have got this data. You can employ an agency. There can be in many ways to collect the data. Data should not be an issue. Okay, what do you do with that data? That's where people should be trained with. Okay, or how to smartly capture that data, that is where people need to be trained. So in capturing smartly that data, and as I would again emphasize, what decision needs to be taken, that's where is the crucial idea of the entire manager being in our lives. Right from our home to our organizations, we do take decisions. Okay, that's where the importance of people like you and me, physical people like you and me, is. Okay, if everything a computer has to be decided, then probably the world would actually be a different thing. Okay, so take technology as an enabler, and rest things obviously would follow. Use that intelligence as a complementary to your intelligence, not to replace human intelligence. That's what I feel. Thank you very much. Thanks for your patience listening.
Hello, sir. I have a query.
Yes, yes, please.
These slides can be available after the end of the session.
Absolutely, there's nothing so
And can
crucial
I
about this.
access all the recordings after the session?
I believe yes. I believe yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Siddharji, thank you, Tripathi ji. Siddharji, you have got any questions?
Thank you so much for the session, sir.
Thank you.
Though
Thank you.
there are there is a yes, sir. Though there are plenty of platforms from where we may know about the different books on business analytics, but is there any particular book that you would like to prescribe to us that we can go for?
See, Siddharth, answering this question in a very simple way, you are looking forward to business analytics from which perspective? From an engineering perspective, that means from a language perspective, or from a theoretical perspective, or managerial decision making perspective. Okay,
It's the second one, some managerial decision making.
the managerial decision making. In any simple book you pick up, I have given you some pointers in this slide. I would not mind, as I promised it to Tripathi, I would not mind sharing this slide with you. You can pick up this as a starting point and then go ahead and, I would always strongly suggest that start reading from MIS. I would strongly suggest, start developing that background or that basic idea from any book of MIS, a basic book of MIS. So that would give you an idea of decision support system and other type of support systems which are essential for a management. And then probably work on, then again, pick up a very simple and small book on, preferably an Indian author book, uh, to start with. Once you are done with, then any in any foreign author or any other author, Siddharthi, to my understanding, the best book is one which we are able to comprehend and which gives us the type of understanding that we are looking forward to. Isliye I generally don't prescribe any authors or any books in general.
Okay, sir. But first we should go for MIS understanding.
Yeah, मुझे ऐसा लगता है सिद्धार्थ जी that it's always better that we start from the basic idea of it. Maybe read a few chapters from that, wherein you get a basic understanding of how MIS are built and how what are the building blocks of it. Once that is set in, then jump on to intelligence and analytics. I believe that would help you create a far better conceptual understanding. If I'm not wrong, Siddharth, you are a faculty somewhere, yes?
Yeah, sir, of course.
Okay, so Siddharth, this is what when this idea would transit to the students, which we talk to people in general. So they come from a varied background. So most of them are, if you are an MBA faculty, then most of them would be are expected to be from a non-IT type of a background. Okay?
Correct.
So probably, or even if they are from an IT background, the managerial understanding or the managerial perspective of understanding the data would be less.
Yes.
So if you build up this idea with them in a bit detail, so that would help them grasp the basic idea. That what essentially we are talking about. See, I give you an idea, simple idea. When I was exposed to this subject way back in 2000, MIS type of a subject, I had only imagination that how it would be like, what exactly can be a decision support system or an executive support system. For all these years, I have carried this conceptual idea, and what I see today is maybe a working model of it. The university softwares that you and me work upon. So they would give you that idea that, okay, this is what it is. This is how the information, when it flows at the top, this is how it gets precise. So those theories that we might have learned yesterday are in practice today. So if you are built up from that conceptual idea, that would help you far better, especially in making the students understand. Muhammad Qadir sir has raised his hand. Please go ahead. Dr. Muhammad Qadir has raised the hand. I believe I'm not able to reach to him. So anyways, thank you everyone. Thank you very much. Once again, I
Thank you so much, sir.
to my organization, the RFI, for giving not only me, but every one of us this platform to interact. And special thanks to Ajay Jain sir. It's because of him that we are interacting on this idea. So thank you everyone for the patient listening. It's the tea time. I hope you would have a nice tea at your home. Okay, and thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Chabra,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
On
Priyanka
behalf
ma'am.
of
Thank you.
everyone, on behalf of RFI, I would like to thank Chabra, sir, for today's topic and expose us to the various prospects in respect to technology, machine learning, and business analytics. Thank you, everyone. for your patience listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.